of College of the Dead, the zombie apocalypse graphic novel series, and publisher of more than 1,000 comics. They call me the man of 1,000 comics. I accept it. So yes, I'm Adam Post. This is COMICSGATE tonight. And as you know, we like to focus on one really cool creator, talk to them about their COMICSGATE project, find out what they're all about, what the project's all about, and how you can get involved in it. And tonight, I'm talking to Rob Casey, and Rob is hey, Michael, how are you? Rob is the creator of CYBORG USA, the comic book. And Rob, it's great to be with you. How are you doing tonight?
Yeah, it's great to be here, man. I'm excited to be back with you. We talked the other night on Wenger's show, so it's nice to get a chance to have a little bit longer to get to know you and talk about my project. And hopefully,
it's very cool. Yeah, man. Your project is really interesting looking, and I love the '80s influence of it. And what I like to always ask people first is, so how did you get? Is this the first comics project that you're doing?
100%, yes. So
wow.
I guess to take you back,
give me the so this is your first comics project. It looks very cool. Mm-hmm. I really like Pablo Romero's style.
Yep.
He has a very cool it's just a very cool presentation of like an 80s type of look. It's so coherent and so consistent throughout. But still he has a lot of fun with how he draws. But yeah, I was reading before some of the background of the story, but tell us what CYBORG USA is about, but how you got into it.
Well, yeah. Well, let me finish answering the other question too about I was like a comics. I'm 40 years old, so I was a comics fan through the 80s. So that was like kind of my time that I was reading books is when they kind of looked like this, as a kid. And then into the 90s, I collected until 1993 or so, and then I kind of got out of comics and I moved to New York. I studied film. And I did some, quite a bit of theater and TV and movies and stuff out in New York. And out here, I met my partner, Zach Tobacco. So he's the co-creator and co-writer on this. And we've been writing stuff together for about 15 years. And this is one where I was I had this idea for this thing that's not really like a TV show, but it would make a great comic book. And I got kind of reinvigorated for collecting comics through your boy Zach and the YouTube comic book community, over the past 3 years or so. And I'd been reading a lot in the meantime, but mostly just Batman trades and G.I. Joe trades. I'm a huge G.I. Joe fan, so I never stopped collecting Larry Hama's stuff. He kept writing it and I kept reading it, and he's still writing the G.I. Joe line today.
Absolutely.
So I was like, let's make this idea. Let's do this comic book. And this is our first comic book together. We were lucky enough to find Pablo on Twitter. He had the look. I looked at a lot of artists, but he had the look that was the look that I thought I wanted to bring these characters to life. So I'm really happy that, that's what we got.
I see a lot of artists and only Pablo can do what Pablo does. So, if you like what Pablo does, and I definitely do, but if his aesthetic and his style fits what you're looking to do, yeah, it's perfect.
Well, when I saw him, when I was looking for artists, he had done a piece of, do you know your boy Zach's Jawbreakers, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So Jawbreakers, they did a lot of fan art, and Pablo did a piece of fan art that was all of the Jawbreakers and Splato Delgado, the the logo cat with the shotgun. And it was done animation style, a 1980s cartoon. And I think that was the one that I saw where I contacted him and started talking about CYBORG USA. I might have seen something before, but I'm pretty sure that was the one that made me go, oh yeah, that guy, that's the look that I want for this team,
Yeah, I see a lot of really good artists do that, and people that want to get discovered as well, like fan art that based on something that's really popular and it's great exposure. And they're just doing one pinup for something that they really like, and it gets them noticed. His work in black and white is really cool. The work colored is cool.
So I'm glad you mentioned that, because one of the tiers on our fundraiser here is for a black and white book. It's no text, just all black and white. So the first issue you get to like really see is, his line work stand out. And I think, it's really, it really speaks for itself. It's like its own kind of thing. It's not like
it's its own aesthetic. It completely is. And I felt the same way making our book College of the Dead. I produced an art book that's 8.5 by 8.5 that is just the black and white artwork, and it's one pack because the whole book was done in uniform panels. It's a different type of layout, so it's one panel per page in our art book. And to me, like the work is so cool when it comes in. Then yes, it adds something to it when it's colored, but it's also different.
It is different, yes.
Isn't it? Right. It's different. It's not like, well, it's
absolutely
cool, but it's not what I first saw, and you're never going, like, literally people will never get to see it if we don't create a special format that's black and white.
That's true. And, different colorists can like bring different things to it. One thing that's interesting about Pablo is I've seen like, he colors some of his own stuff, and that looks a little bit different than some of the other stuff that we've had colored. And, there's just like his stuff looks really good with like a flat style. The guy that is coloring issue 2 is Michael Beacon, who is,
this guy?
There he is. Hey, there he is. He's making the rounds.
Michael Beacon.
Yeah.
And Pablo did some work on his comic too. Yeah, Pablo is great.
So I haven't talked to Michael since you're in the audience. I haven't really caught up with him. I've kind of been working on this other stuff. So we're going to catch up soon on how it's going on issue 2, and we'll give an update to everybody and keep pushing forward on that.
And you and your friend and your collaborator Zach, you guys have been writing together for 15 years. What kind of work do you guys normally write?
Well, we mostly like screenplays, and Zach lives in LA, and he that's like what he does for a living is like coverage for screenplays.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. And just to explain to people that they don't know what coverage is.
Coverage is, he works for a production company, and they're evaluating scripts. He reads them and gives feedback on how to improve them or whether or not they're scripts that they want to go ahead with.
And coverage is kind of like a summary, so a producer doesn't have to go through the work of actually reading and thinking about a script.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, that's right. So it's like like a book report or a cliff notes on the screenplay.
Very cool. Very cool. So he sees a lot of stuff and a lot of writing, and he's constantly thinking about writing and characterization and themes and stories.
1,000%. He brings all of that to the table. I a little bit less so. He has a graduate degree from AFI.
Wow.
In screenwriting.
That's American Film Institute.
Yeah, and I'm a little more like I'm a little more trained in the streets. Like I studied at Atlantic Theater Company a little bit in New York, and at the Upright Citizens Brigade. I was on sketch comedy teams and improv teams there.
Wow,
that's how Zach and I met. So that that's like our background. We work pretty well together.
It's interesting because it's just to let people know this is going to be an exceptionally well written comic book.
I think so. Yeah.
That's kind of what happens, because when people are like, when you love the work, you can do a great job. A lot of times people can see the passion in the work, but when you love the work, but you're also working with people who are trained in writing and they understand it as a discipline, that can be some really exceptional work. So
well, I think it's more than meets the eye. I think the story, it would be easy to like kind of look at this project and see it as like a first time creator and say like, I don't know. But I guess what I'm telling you guys is, we've thought a lot about this story, about this arc. One of the main reasons that we're pushing this book through this crowdfunder is, we've got the first 2 books done, and we want to continue the series. So that's, right now we're on a pretty good pace fundraising, but what we want to do is sell out this initial run, this 500 limited run on these, and that'll ensure that we can go forward and do the series like we really want to, like a 12-issue run.
Now the basic story of this, I was reading through it earlier, and it was pretty hardcore. I was reading it like, okay, these are Olympians that they were attacked.
That's right. That's right.
And then like, because I'm not going to show all of this, but just part of this is like,
well, let me stop for a moment. So what you're showing is the PDF for issue number 1.
Yeah.
And this let's show a little bit. Let's not show the whole thing, but
no, not the whole thing.
Let everybody know that it is available. This is available free to you if you want to preview the first issue, at cyborgusacomic.com. So what we're looking through right now, you'll be able to get. We'll save the last little bit so that we don't spoil too much. But yeah, that's what this is.
I just wanted to get up to the point where, all right, so this is before they turn into cyborgs.
That's right. So they initially they thwart a terrorist attack and they become international heroes.
So like this could just be like I'm 49, so I was watching G.I. Joe in the early 80s.
Yep.
And as a kid, and I'm like, hey, this is really cool. And there's Cobra, and they're not so good, but they're bad guys, but it's fun and it's exciting. This could have been on like, right after G.I. Joe. But
yeah.
Right up until the point that this shit happens. This ain't going on G.I. Joe. That's why this is like, wait a minute, what is it, Pablo? What are you doing? And it's like, well, it's what's in the script. So something happens to them. Oh, there's a crash. Okay, there's a train crash, and then
train collision.
They're horribly a collision. They're horribly disfigured. And obviously they should have died, but they don't die.
Well, that's the key philosophical issue of the series. What you just said right there. Are they or aren't they? What are they now?
Yeah, what are they now that they are? They've been turned into cyborgs.
Correct.
So let's stop. So the interior, as you were saying, it's available. Cyborg Comic US. Sorry, what's the name of the website again? I apologize.
No, you got it. CYBORG USA Comic.
CYBORGUSAComic.com. You can download the first issue, which I implore you to do. Definitely do it. Doesn't cost anything. Why not? And look through it, and you'll start reading this, and you'll be like, this is not like two-dimensional G.I. Joe stuff that happens to be cool because it's G.I. Joe. This is like multi-dimensional, like, wait a minute, what is going on here kind of stuff that you get drawn into and you wouldn't have expected that you a
lot of things are going on beneath the surface, and we intend to explore them with a series. I think you get a really good like hint or taste of what that is by reading it. But there's more to come.
I didn't get the sense of the depth of what this is. I didn't get the sense of your background in screenwriting with your friend Zach. And I did see this image, and this makes you think. If you're looking at this as a comics reader, and you're like, all right, she's got this weapon, this I-beam weapon, and these people are being incinerated.
Yeah.
That's
okay. What's going on? Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on? This is not like a typical. 80s Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah.
But if there were Olympians that got into an accident and then you're going to tell us a little bit more of the story and the take on it. If what you described happened actually, were to happen, and it's of course science fantasy, but this is what it would be, and it's interesting. It's very interesting. So tell us more about the story. So. They are Olympians, right? So tell me they're Olympians and what happens here.
Well, I can't say that they're Olympians because for legal reasons, So
understood.
So they're
what I might think are athletes.
Yeah, we call them Super Team USA, and they are America's elite athletic team, and they compete. What you see in this first terrorist attack is the World Team Championships. I mean. So this is the World Team Championships. That's where the terrorist attack is that they thwart as Super Team USA. And those are the Red Skirts. The Red Skirts are led by Yuri out of Red Skirt Island, which is an island off the coast of the Pacific Northwest. And the Red Skirts, Yuri and the Red Skirts are an anti-technology, anti-globalist death cult. So they take umbrage with Super Team USA. They see them as a symbol of technology and globalism, and they become their yin and yang, or their Joker kind of nemesis.
Interesting. Yeah, it's not a G.I. Joe comic. It is not.
Well, so like I was a big G.I. Joe fan. One thing I think is interesting, in the 80s they had like RoboCop. RoboCop is sort of like our North Star on this, the movie. And they had a cartoon for RoboCop, and as the movies got released, they were progressively more and more cartoonish. G.I. Joe, like the cartoon was one way with the lasers, but Larry Hama's book was like, very much more graphic. And if you use your imagination, it could be very, very graphic. And I think that this idea is like a product of that that kind of juxtaposition of the wholesome, kind of like daytime, like kids animation with like kind of the more adult themes and realities of gritty comic books.
Interesting. Yeah. Really, really interesting. A different kind of project and something that could only be done this way through Indiegogo, really.
Absolutely, yeah.
So difficult to convey like what it would be, because you can't look at this for 2 seconds and understand what it is.
Right.
But that's good, obviously. That's what depth is all about. All right, so the red skirts, an anti-globalist terrorist death cult plot an attack on the spectator-filled stadium, and this has happened. There have been terrorist attacks at. Well, these are not Olympics, as we said, but there have been terrorist attacks at Olympic events, right?
In Atlanta, I was actually at the '96 Olympics in Atlanta, and we were when it got bombed. Like we were just like, what is the band playing? And we were like, weren't into them, and we took off, and we missed it by like 20 minutes. So that bomb went off.
Thank God.
That's where we were going to be. So I think about that a lot. I also one of my best friends in high school was an Olympian, and my cousin just missed qualifying for the Olympics a couple of years ago as a long distance runner. So I think a lot about like Olympians and like what their mindset is and the training they have to go through, what it means to their relationships, but then also like the kind of unusual situations that they wind up with, like unusual benefactors. And that's kind of who this guy Hans Ulrich is, this guy that restores them as like one of these like unusual and mysterious wealthy benefactors that you don't really know what his motivations are. And that comes out in issue number 2. One is more like the origin story, but issue 2 is like there's him in the wheelchair, kind of an exploration of their circumstances as they become this new like unusual like super team family.
Interesting. Yeah, there's a lot going on, and it looks like you're exploring a lot of interesting aspects of it.
I hope so. Yeah.
So much
and
depth to it. It's not cartoonish. It really isn't.
I think it's funny too. It's not like it's like we play it pretty straight, but it's not like a necessarily like a laugh out loud comedy, but it is. I think it's like dark and humorous in that way.
Very interesting. And now you've had this idea for a long time, right? You had this, I was reading in your description. You had the idea for like 20 years. You've been thinking about these characters.
Yeah, I thought it. Well, I first came up with it like when I moved to New York. I remember like I was just when you move to New York and you're like you want to get something going and you're just brainstorming like all these crazy ideas and this was like one that I could just like never shake. I once I got these guys in my head and like what they were all about, it was just sort of like, oh, that would be so much fun, and you could take them in so many different directions and explore so many themes that are like directly present to the present day. And it's the kind of idea that like I could work on the rest of my life and just play with these characters and where they go. And I think it would be fun.
That's the other amazing thing about Indiegogo, guys. And, just having the opportunity, I get to talk to so many people who've been working on something and they just wanted to put this project out for years. College of the Dead is something I started working on 5 years ago. And I've published comics before, but hadn't recently. Are you there? We got
Sorry,
you
we
okay?
Good? Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
100%.
I cut out for a second.
It's a little funny audio thing. Okay, no problem. Anyway, what I was saying is that this is great that this has like been a passion project of yours. Mr. Black Daddy, good to see you, my friend. Black Daddy, hail, hail, hail. What a great icon. Just wacky, but cool. But it's very cool to see like a project you've been working on for years and years, and it otherwise wouldn't come out if not for this. And there's so many passion projects coming out through COMICSGATE, through Indiegogo. It's awesome. All right, so this offering is for 2 comics, or is this 1 comic? What do we have here? What's in the tiers here? Are you still there, my friend? Rob, did you freeze? Oh, it looks like Rob froze. All right. Let's see if Rob will come back in. All right, so Rob must have lost internet a little bit. Well, I'll tell you what. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Black Daddy is telling us to back CYBORG USA, and that's absolutely what we should be doing. And there's Rob. He's right back. Rob's back.
Sorry about
All right,
that,
my
guys.
man.
I don't know what happened. Sorry about that.
Just a little silly internet thing. No problem. No problem. We keep rolling on. If you didn't make it back, I was going to do your tiers. No problem. But let's do the tiers
Thank you.
together. So
All right, great.
look, these are 2 comics that you're doing at once now.
Yeah, so the process. If you guys have heard, people have maybe heard me talking about this for a long time. I started announcing it maybe about this time last year, maybe a little bit before. I wasn't really sure what we were going to do with it. We finished the first issue, but then after like a period of time, I decided just to like get to know the characters better, it would be better to sell this with a second issue too. So we had Pablo work on the second issue. So that's what you're getting with this first tier. You're getting issue number 1 and issue number 2, like 24-page floppies, and that's like the basic tier. This is going to be the first printing of these books, and we're going to limit them to 500. So it's going to be like a special limited edition, like inauguration of these characters.
So you get 2 full color comics, 24 pages each, full color with beautiful art by Pablo. And written by you, which the story sounds really interesting and well thought out. It sounds like you put a tremendous amount of thinking into this. I love that.
A lot of thinking, yeah. A lot of work too. Pablo's work is great on it. Yeah.
I'm sure it shows a lot in the work. I'm sure it shows. Now the coloring book variant is the black and white version.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to get issue number 1, issue number 2, and the coloring variant. So that's going to help you really like see Pablo's line work for this like first issue. It's just like, because this is the origin issue for these characters, we want to kind of have a special launch for them, and we're really hoping we can get backers to get on board for this concept so that we can push it forward and do more books. Like that's kind of the mantra on this is like, let's sell out of this like first limited run, and that means we can continue the series.
Get on to the next one. Keep it moving. And I love the attitude. Like always move forward, capture more ground, and keep the property out there. Keep more things happening, and wait till people get the actual physical books, and then we'll see pictures of them on YouTube reviews, and we'll see them on Twitter, and people will be talking about it, and then you'll do your next one. And it'll be fun. It's going to be great.
I hope so. That's what we want. Yeah.
And you're doing a limited run. So this is very limited. I think this is a cool concept. A 50 copy run of the coloring book variant.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. So 2 full color comics, issue 1 and issue 2. Mm-hmm. How many pages is the coloring book going to be?
It's the same as issue 1. It's not actually issue 1 is not actually 24. The 24 is like with the cover. It's like a 20-page story.
Okay, 20 pages plus cover.
Yeah, and the second, I just say that because the second one is a 24-page story.
Gotcha, 24 plus cover. All right, and then is it issue? Oh, it's the issue 1 variant. Okay, so the issue 1 variant is the coloring book variant.
Yep.
Very cool. All right, a numbered variant for $50.
And so this one is going to be printed to order. This is going to be like the cover B printed to order version, and I think it's either just going to have a different, like you see the dress, like the letterbox, like a different logo and letterbox, or it may be a different cover. Right now, I think it's just going to be the dress and the letterbox. I don't think we're going to announce a different cover, but that's going to be printed to order with a hand numbered hand numbering. That's what I meant to say. So it's going to be, however many of those we are claimed, that's how many are going to be printed. And that's going to be a special, ultra limited version of the first comic.
People seem to like the numbered variant. You're selling some, so that's cool. I mean, when I published Triumphant Comics with Chromium Man and whatnot, Chromium Man Scavengers and Riot Gear, whatever, we actually did sequentially numbered. Every issue was sequentially numbered. So it was of a limited print run, and each one was a unique book in that way. And it was fun. It really was cool. A lot of people liked it. Nowadays, you could do a lot of cool stuff with, if you had a lot of them numbered, you could have it linked to a website address that's specific to that number. So, and the numbering is very cool.
What we were doing with all these tiers, sorry to say,
not at all.
We're trying to create different incentives to get people on board. So whether whether the black and white thing might appeal to you, or this like special numbered variant, or maybe like a t-shirt, like, sticker pack, trying to give people an excuse to back it, because this is, on top of everything, this is a fundraiser to move forward on like more books. So
yeah, and I'm looking at this, and people are interested in what you're doing.
Mhm.
The tiers are resonating. I don't know if you have any other tiers that you put. In fact, it's rare for me to see a book. It's rare for me to see a campaign that's kind of like young in its life the way this is,
Mhm.
and to see each of the uh, very unique, different. I don't want to say obscure with any negative connotation,
Sure.
but unusual, unique
Mhm.
um, tiers, but to see people actually backing them, like the coloring book variant, that could easily be zero. It's not. People are interested. The
Sure.
numbered variant, people are interested. The
Mhm.
the deluxe comics package. Let's talk about what that is. And as a T-shirt,
Mhm.
8 of them, people are interested. People
Yep.
are interested in this. It's great.
That's awesome.
You're resonating with people, man. It's working.
Well, we
So,
started, I didn't have like I didn't really have a channel going. I wasn't like really out there announcing because we didn't know 100% when we were going to launch that we were going to launch. But once we were on that path, we were ready to go. So we
mhm.
launched, and the first like week and a half or so, the pace has been pretty good. It's dropped off the last couple of days, so we need to like rev the engine back up and get people back into
Yeah,
it.
I mean
But
the trick of it is
so far
just
so good.
you just get on as many shows as possible and
Mhm.
stay active on Twitter. What I like to tell people and remind people too is with Twitter is it's good to share the campaign and it's good to share key art from the campaign, but it's good to remember to update the art too. You don't
Sure.
want to be, like I wind up with College of the Dead. I have that. It's a great cover, and we keep sharing that cover. And it's like I've shared it a lot of times, but people have seen it a million times already. So it's good recognition, but you want people to see the same. So in your case, I've seen your campaign around and whatnot, and your stuff is all still fresh. My stuff has been around for like
Yeah.
whatever it is, 2 months now, so it's getting old.
Yeah.
So if I share stuff, I've got to look at what do I have new to show. Um,
I think a lot of the images that we have out here, like Tuna disintegrating these guys in the
that is a
cover,
cool image.
we have had that out a lot. There's a lot more that we can share, and then as we get colored pages in for number 2, we can start to share that as well.
Yeah, it's
So
something I
there's
think it just
yeah,
it keeps people involved. I think it's cool.
there's still new stuff to go. We're like 40, I don't know, whatever, 7 days out or something. So
Yeah, you
there's a
got a
lot
lot of time.
ground to cover.
It's
Yeah,
just going to be very successful. It's great to see it already starting to take off. And
thanks.
did you do? You did a flexible goal of 1,000, so you weren't 100% sure. I did a flexible goal of 5,000, which is like
Yeah,
totally the wrong thing to do. A flexible goal of 1,000 is fine. A fixed goal of 1,000 is fine. Just to hit your number and then get out there and start doing stuff. People do get nervous with flexible goals. No one
yeah,
has to be nervous with yours because you're 100% plus funded. You're 203% funded so far.
yep.
So that's great. But other people, if their goal is too high, if you had done what I did, which is go with like some $5,000, then people start wondering like, well, I don't know if it's going to get funded or not, so I don't want to fund it. In your case, 100% funded. That's great.
Yeah, and I think there's another thing if they want to get confidence out of issue number 1 is entirely done. Issue number 2 is Pablo's got all except for maybe like 7 pages, something like that. So
Excellent.
we're very close. We're hoping at the beginning of next year we're going to be able to get this out, and it's going to be one of those projects where you can get in and back it, and then get your book and feel good about the campaign.
Yeah, this is a book that's. I mean, obviously, this book is happening. You've been working on it for 20 years. The first issue is fully done. You're
Yeah,
not going to stop now and not finish the second one.
yeah, that's right.
So good for you, and it's really coming together. It's very cool. The deluxe comics package, which people seem to like, they get issue 1, issue 2, a wall poster. So that's a full color, vibrant, colorful poster, which is very cool. How you know how big that poster is going to be?
I don't know, like the standard size, like the fourfold standard size that everybody's
Oh
doing.
wow, really?
That's what we're thinking. Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
almost like 2 feet by a standard poster is
Well, what's the no? I don't think that big. I think like the 11 by like the 11. What I'm
11,
saying is like
17.
on other people's campaigns, yeah, where they do like a fourfold. Like I think it's more like 11 by 17.
Okay,
You
11
know
by
what I mean?
17 is still really good. Yeah, it's like a big page of
Yeah,
like
I
eight
think
and a half, 11 times 2,
yeah.
or you could go a little bit. You have to see how it goes, but 11, 17 is very nice. I was just talking to a guy. I believe it was yesterday, and
Mhm.
he's doing a poster that's just like a front, like a center spread of a comic size,
Okay.
uh, and that's going to look nice too. And it's the thing is to ship it, you probably ideally would want to fold it once, let's say, and it helps if it's the same size as the comic, just so that it doesn't get damaged also in shipping.
Yeah.
But a lot of different ways of looking at it. But that's going to be very cool, and it's obviously going to be exclusive to this package.
Yeah, that's the idea, that it's one of those ones that's like folded in with the book, and you get it delivered like that.
Excellent. And now you also get a Cyborg. It's so cool. A
Yeah.
Cyborg USA T-shirt.
Yeah.
I can just see this. Like I can see Cyborg USA as its own, brand of apparel.
That's sounds great to me, man. Your mouth to
God's ears and
yeah, to
such.
the bank account.
All right.
That's right.
We'll hustle as much as we can, and
Yeah.
I'll always help as much as I can. If I knew how to do that 100%, there would definitely be a College of the Dead line of apparel by now. But we'll see. We'll get there.
Well,
This is
let's
the first step. This is the first step. Make the book, man.
I want people to be into the characters, be into the book. I'm like that stuff can come, but I'm really excited about the characters. I'm excited about the fun of it.
I'm just thinking about beautiful girls walking around Manhattan with
Yeah.
Cyborg USA apparel that doesn't even mean anything. It's just, it's to them, it may not mean anything. It's cool that it's a logo.
Yep.
But yeah, I just think it's cool. So then you're also going to do stickers. Stickers are so cool.
So the sticker is like the logo, like a cutout version of the logo that's on the T-shirt.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Very cool. All right. Also planning to ship January 2020. And now I've never seen this before. So cyborgize yourself.
Yeah. Now this is awesome. So what you see right there is that's our character Tina, and that's the original character sheet that Pablo did when we first hired him. So that's her, and then
he is so good.
Yeah, I love the sunglasses. That's the dopest thing. So
yeah,
so it's gonna be
that was his idea.
Yeah. So it's basically something like that. For you, send Pablo a picture, and we're gonna have him draw you. The part of the idea of the Cyborg USA is that this is a moment, when these guys are transformed into Cyborg Super Team USA, that transforms the world. Creates like an arms race of cyborg enhancement and body modification. So the idea is like, when you do the cyborgize yourself, this is potentially like a character that would fit into our Cyborg USA universe, a couple issues down the road or something like that.
So this is, and I've seen the ones, I had it done too, where a guy who does like zombie art, he drew me as a zombie. But this is basically, you get to be turned into a cyborg.
Yeah, and it's Pablo's art, and he's going to color it. So, if you've seen Pablo's work and you really like it, and you want Pablo to do a rendering of you with like cyborg enhancements, it's the perfect opportunity. Plus, you get all the other perks.
Cool perks, yeah,
in this package. So it's actually a really good value, if you think about it that way.
Yeah, it is a good value. Are there any plans to put this art in the book yet?
The Cyborgize Yourself art, you mean?
Yeah.
No, I mean that's not going to be. I don't even think that. I'm not sure what the timetable will be for him to finish that, but
okay.
It's not going to be. It's not going to be something that we would include in the first two issues.
Yeah,
it's up to. I would say it's up to the collector, like what they want. What they want to do with it.
So, guys, think about it. If you go for the cyborgize yourself, make a cyborg out of yourself, you might become part of Cyborg USA history. You just have to talk to Rob about it and see what you can work out. But you get the Cyborg USA color issue 1, issue 2, also of course color. You get the wall poster, you get a T-shirt, you get a decal sticker, and you're turned into a cyborg. And in the issue number 1 variant, which is the coloring book, right?
Yep.
And the cover B really exclusive short run. So that's one heck of a package deal.
It is. It's cool. It's going to be cool for anybody that wants to sign up for it.
And one person's already on. So this is how you can tell a campaign is doing well, and people really, when they get to hear about it, they get into the idea and they like the idea and they know that it's cool because all of your tiers have some action on it.
That's great.
Yeah. I can't say that all of my tiers for College of the Dead had action on them all the time. I tried a digital, I stopped with a digital, and I tried a couple different things, but it's very cool.
I think we picked things that we thought were manageable for us, and that we thought would be good incentives, and so I'm pretty happy with how it's gone so far. But like I said, we do want to pick it up. We want to sell out all 500 books. We're not even going to sell all 500 because we need to save some for damaged and stuff. So if you look at it that way, there's probably only like 400 books to sign up for at this point. So get in while the getting's good.
Yeah, get in. Go for it. Definitely back this book. It looks like it's really, really fun. And this is why I like to do these shows where I focus with one creator on one project. And I always learn a lot of extra stuff about the creator and about the project. This is a really, really unique, interesting project. I can see how this is something you've thought about for many, many years. And I think it's great too that you think about how you can do special tiers, but really make sure that it's practical, that you can deliver those things. It's not just that they sound cool.
Right.
It's that you're looking like, we're going to actually ship these books. This is not just like we're going to try to ship these books. So
Right.
that's the kind of contributions that we need to independent publishing.
Well, we have an obligation to everybody that backs us to deliver what we say we're going to deliver. So that's our intent. And the more people that back it, the more it makes it possible for us to do that at the highest quality and to continue this line.
So everybody, go ahead and back CYBORG USA, the comic book. Go ahead and also share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook. Rob is a really serious creator, and he's working with Pablo. I'd love to see more Pablo work. These are the kind of books that we want in COMICSGATE. These are the kind of books we want people to find out about. And he's got a lot of really reasonable, affordable tiers and some very, very cool stuff there. Rob, I'm sure you also have some other ideas, and it's just that the first project's got to be CYBORG USA. It's going to be a big 2020 for you, and definitely for COMICSGATE too. I can see the CYBORG USA team teaming up with the Jawbreakers. You might need to talk to Pablo about that. It's funny because people who are really successful, like your boy Zach, first of all, he didn't start off successful. His first project on Kickstarter didn't do big dollars, and I think he did 2 small projects on Kickstarter. I backed one of his small ones back in the day. I think it was a soldier story of a soldier being in Iraq or whatnot. It's just a matter of getting going. But I was hearing him on a live stream. He was talking about how someone approached him to do something with the Jawbreakers characters, and he's like, yeah, sure. I mean, if it sounds cool, something you'd never think like, well, why would he do a crossover with someone who isn't established themselves? It's like, well, he's just a guy. He's just cool, and who knows? But do I think that I think there's a reasonable universe that those 2 sets of characters could participate in. Who knows?
Sure.
Anything's possible. But guys, all right. So go ahead and back this project. You can also find Rob on Twitter. Rob, what is your Twitter again?
So my Twitter handle is my name, which is ROBCACY, Rob Casey. And I go by Captain USA, which is also the name of the leader of CYBORG USA. So
very cool. Very cool. And you're very pro-America.
I'm in favor of America.
All right.
I think it's been a net positive to my life.
Very much so. Mine too. Support America. Support CYBORG USA. Back this comic. We'll be seeing you guys again. And also, guys, you can check out College of the Dead. My book is actually completely finished, and it's now shipping. It's shipping to everyone who purchased it, and it's shipping for anyone else who wants to still buy it in the in-demand store while it's still there. And that's at collegeofthedead.com, and also in the link in the description. The links are in the description, of course, for CYBORG USA. And remember, you can also check out the first issue of CYBORG USA as a free PDF at, just make sure we say it right.
Yeah, CYBORGUSAcomic.com.
Fantastic. Rob, thank you so much for being with me and us tonight. Black Daddy, thank you. Michael Beacon, thank you. Peter, thank you. Thank you for anyone else.
It's been a pleasure, Adam.
Yeah, man, it's been terrific. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate the project. I'm glad to see it's already funded, already successful, and just growing from here on in.
Thank you very much.
All right. Have a great night, everybody.
Good night.